Ursula's video yesterday, I read a lot of your comments and I heard some huffing and some grumbling about how you don't want to make scripts. So, some of you find them creatively stifling, some of you find them tedious, and there's like a multitude of reasons why a lot of you don't want to write scripts. So today I'm going to talk about them in both kind of its defense and as a bit of a guide on how to stop hating them like so much. So I love scripts. Most of my videos, they're scripted. In fact, I am reading from a script right now. It keeps my points on track, it keeps them concise, it stops me from rambling, and it really makes information a lot more digestible. And most importantly, they are extremely easy to edit when I have a script for my videos. And even if I end up not editing a script, it's really easy for me to just kind of go off the cuff, ramble a little bit, and then find my way back on track. Like right now, that was like a bit of a ramble right there. I'm not bound by my script forever. So when it comes to writing a comic script, basically you do the same thing. Now, a few of you mentioned this, but why not combine thumbnails and scripting into one easy little package? Like, wouldn't that be easier? Wouldn't that be a better idea? I mean, you can. It's your creative process. Do whatever you want. This is just my opinions. But the reason I separate them is twofold. One, scripts are easy to change. And two, scripts and thumbnails do different things. They're inherently different and provide different, very important parts to your comic as a whole. So when you think about scripts and thumbnails, I want you to think of it like this. Scripts are what you want to say, and thumbnails are how you want to say it. Alright, so with that out of the way, how do you write a comic script? The answer is, you do it however you want. Lucky for you, there is no designated comic book formats. Like, different companies may have different ideas and standards, but across the board, there is no standard process to doing it, and you can do it however you want. But when you do break it down a little bit, scripts kind of come in two different main flavors. There's number one, a script meant for you and you alone, and number two, a script meant for someone else. The latter will always require you to be a lot more specific, and the former will probably make you more miserable if you're someone that kind of detests script writing, I guess. But either way, when you write your script, you'll be writing out what is essential for your scene. You can also write extra if you feel up to it, but basically a script is just you writing out instructions for your future self or someone else who is going to depict what you have come up with. So if scripts make you miserable, keep it simple. If writing a description of a composition is tedious to you and doesn't help, you don't have to write that. Write out the basics and move on. This isn't a movie. It doesn't have to be spelled out perfectly. It's not going to be distributed out to the cast and crew. My scripts are messy, guys. Like, most of my describing and composition advice, it comes out in just discussions with Ursula and refining things in thumbnails later. But the script still matters, and it's what holds the plot together. It's essential. And if the script feels stifling, stop writing stifling scripts, or try to be more creative when you get to the thumbnail process. If you're bored by your script, the entirety of scripting is not a bad thing, okay? It's just you're not writing the right scripts for you. I'm gonna put up some samples of my own scripts, but basically they're not that detailed. Like, scripts are basically detailed plot outlines. They're more detailed than a plot outline, but they're not so detailed that they're like a full-fledged novel, unless that's, how you like to write, in which case, keep at it. But basically, they can be as sparse as they need to be. Sure, I've gotten more detailed, but usually it's just like notes to myself or Ursula so that I don't forget, or something like sassy to make her laugh while she's struggling at making pages. By the time you reach thumbnails, your script shouldn't be stifling, okay? That's basically what I keep saying, but it's true. Instead, they're meant to just take the weight off you while you're doing your thumbnails. Like I said, scripts are what you want to say, and now you get to execute the how and focus purely on the how you're going to say it in the thumbnails. It's so you don't have to balance a whole bunch of different aspects of story all at the same time, which is really hard. Like, it's really hard, and it's nicer to separate these two major components from one another. So when I'm writing a script, sometimes an image will pop into my head about how I want things to look like, and it'll just come straight to my mind, and I just like type it out and like it's good. Other times I have no frickin' idea how this is going to turn out, but I write down what needs to be shown and what is plot essential, and then I leave that creative problem for later. Like, it's fine to not solve everything in the script stage. This is just for writing. This is just for the story. This is just to see if your outlines work, if your story works. It's not about deciding what everything is going to look like and make it perfect. That is thumbnails. They are different, and you need to keep them separate in your mind a little bit. You know, bogging down the script writing process by thinking about what your pages look like can lead to that stifling feeling that some of you have mentioned before. You know, if describing the scene doesn't help you, you can just write, "It's in the woods," and then move on, because you're going to design the woods later, and you can think about all the emotional resonance and like what is important for the set later. It's fine for if that to be separate. It doesn't have to happen on your page if that upsets you and bores you. If you understand what is meant by your script, if your artist understands what is meant by the script, that's all that matters. This isn't for public consumption. Don't worry about it. Like, you don't even have to break things down into pages and panels like I like to do. I've seen a few of my friends who do scripts that have absolutely no page or panel breaks. They just do that later in the thumbnailing stage. Like, personally, I do it because I like to get kind of the sense of like how the pages are paced out and how long it's going to take to tell the story. And I like that bit of control. But if you don't like that, it's fine. Again, like, the script is just to nail your story down. It's basically an outline. And for all of you who said you just like to write outlines, it's basically what a script is. It's a little bit more detailed form of an outline. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't even have to be spelled correctly. I can't spell. I can't grammar. I just write vague phrases of kind of what I want and then describe them later. That's fine. That's a script. It's just for you and someone you trust, okay? And as long as you both understand what's going on, that's all that matters with your script, okay? But yeah, if you can write an outline, you can write a script, you can do it. I believe in you. You can make them not boring. You can find other ways to entertain yourself in the thumbnail process, because there's tons to think about in thumbnails already. So the script, it should be fine. And if you absolutely positively hate scripting with every fiber of your being, I think it's time that you should like maybe consider a writer to like sort out your ideas and help you refine them and put them into a nice coherent thing for you to follow. All right, that's all I wanted to say. Scripts are easy. I have a video about how I script. I think I have a few other videos about how I get scripts done. I'm sure I'm going to talk about it more in the future and get a lot more specific, but this is just the general idea of things and why you need one, and kind of like some ideas on how to make them less terrible and scary to you. Alright, so that is all I have for today. Please check out my Etsy store. Magpie's coming back soon to Webtoons. I think it's coming back today. Is it coming back today? Oh my god, it's coming back today. Magpie is coming back to Webtoons, which means it would be the perfect time for you to catch up and read all of the Magpie books. There's 2 of them. They're great. They're in Etsy. And if you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and join the Discord, I guess. Or follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I feel like I haven't plugged anything, so I'm in a mood to do it. Especially with all you new people showing up from yesterday's video. I'm so glad all of you are starting your webcomics this lovely 2019. Alright, see you guys next time. Goodbye.